Today, I'm talking about how the most challenging year for my personal life accidentally became the most transformational year for my business. Everyone tells you when you have a kid, your business, your dreams, they all have to take a backseat. That you'll be less focused, less productive, and you just have to accept it. But what if that is a lie? What if I told you that learning to change a nappy, soothe a crying baby, and function on 3 hours of sleep actually unlock the secrets to better client communication, crisis management, and insane productivity? Hi, I'm Rod, and for years I've been running Perth, a creative agency that tells stories from the sky for global names like Netflix and Paramount Plus. I thought I knew what it took to be a successful entrepreneur. Then my daughter was born. And the lessons she taught me were more valuable than any business book I ever read. So in this video, I'm going to share the 4 biggest lessons my daughter taught me about business that you can apply right now, whether you are a parent or not. Lesson 1: the power of non-negotiables. Before my daughter, my workday was fluid. I would answer emails as they came in. I would jump on calls whenever I felt busy, yet I wasn't always productive. Then a baby arrives, and a baby's world is built on non-negotiables. She doesn't care about my client deadline. She doesn't care about my block. When it's time to eat, it's time to eat. Period. As a result, I start my most important work like a feeding schedule. I identified the 1 or 2 tasks that would actually grow my business each day, and I put them in a calendar in a ruthless, non-negotiable blocks. 2 hours, no phone, no email, no distractions. This is the core of deep work. It's a principle I'd read about in books like Kroll Newport's Deep Work, but I've never truly understood its power until I had no other choice. It forced me to be efficient, not just busy. Which leads to the next problem. How do you talk to clients when your brand is mushed from lack of sleep? Lesson 2: the art of simple communication. You can negotiate with a baby. You can use fancy words or complex arguments to convince her to stop crying. You have to be simple, clear. You use a calm tone. Your intention is everything. I used to think my proposals need to be full of industry jargon to sound professional, to show off our drone technology and cinematic drone capabilities. However, after weeks of communicating in the simplest possible terms at home, I looked at my clients' emails and had a revelation. They were too complicated. So I rewrote everything. I stripped out the jargon. I focused on the outcome, the story, the feeling. The result? Clients understood the vision faster. Projects have fewer revisions. Trust was built instantly. It was a game changer. It reflects our core value at Perth: collaboration. We are in this together, so let's speak the same language. But clear communication is useless if you can handle the moment when everything inevitably goes wrong. Which brings me to the nappy. Lesson 3: the masterclass in crisis management. Picture this. You are 5 minutes from a huge deadline, and then it happens. The diaper explosion. The kind that requires a full system shutdown. In business, we call this a crisis. At home, it's just Tuesday. The old me would have panicked on a project. I would have wasted energy on the drama. Instead, after dealing with a few code browns, you learn a process. You don't panic. You assess the damage. You grab your tools, which are wipes and fresh nappy. You execute the plan efficiently and calmly. You clean up and move on. Consequently, when a client calls with a problem or a drone has a technical issue, I treat it like a diaper explosion. No drama, just a calm, systematic approach to solving the problem. It's about being practical and finding innovative solutions under pressure. Lesson 4. Redefining your true ROI. This was the hardest lesson and the most important. As an entrepreneur, especially one who moved here from Brazil and built a business from nothing, the grind is glorified. I believed the only way to get ahead was to work all the time. Late nights were a badge of honor. But one night I was about to answer one last email while I could hear my wife trying to put our daughter to bed. And I had to ask myself, what is the real return on investment here? An extra 10 minutes of work versus missing a moment I can never get back? The math just didn't work. As the famous quote from Paulo Coelho says, there is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. And I realized my definition of failure was changing. It wasn't just about the business failing. It was about failing at stuff that really matters. This led me to measure my success differently. The goal of Perth isn't just to make a profit. The goal is to do meaningful work that creates a life of freedom and presence. This forced me to get ruthless with my priorities, to delegate, to say no, and to focus only on the highest value activities that would give me back my time. And ironically, the business became more profitable than ever. So the biggest fear for any entrepreneur, that personal life will get in the way of the business, turned out to be my greatest asset. Fatherhood didn't take away from my business, it focused it. It gave it a heart and a purpose that goes beyond just telling stories from the sky. I actually wrote a blog post that goes deeper in this journey called What My 6-Month-Old Taught Me About Clients and Business. I will leave a link to that in the description if you want to read more. And the lessons are universal. Whether it's a child, a passion for a sport, or caring for family, letting your life outside of work teach you, that's the secret. What is the most unexpected lesson your personal life has taught you about your work? Drop in the comments below. I promise I'll read every single one. If this video helped you see things from a new perspective, please consider subscribing. It's free. We talk about drone storytelling, filmmaking, and building a creative business you can be proud of. Take what you've learned and create something amazing. Stay curious, tell your story, make it count. Thank you so much for watching.